Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jambox. We're here. We're back at it again, and we're going to get on into it. But before we do, as always, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. You know, I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. With that being said, here's a quick word from our sponsor. Hibiscus, a lush and invigorating tea. Bright, tart, and a touch sweet, this passion-inspired blend is crafted with hibiscus, lemongrass, rose petals, cranberry, spearmint, orange, and lemon peel. The Brothers Apothecary. Fine teas and remedies. All right, thank you all so much for watching. Again, shout out The Brothers Apothecary. Make sure to click the link below and go check them out. Guarantee you're going to like it. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get on into it. Here is today's guest.
What's good, everybody? It's MC Lobo.
Hello.
How's it going?
Hey, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, man.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about, where you're from, what you do, give us that like Tinder profile of your involvement with music.
Oh, yeah. I'm based out of Vancouver. Been all over the area, so
Okay.
Kind of, just Northwest is a collective, I guess. I don't really like to section myself off. But yeah, man, I've been doing music for wait, what was the question?
Let's go ahead and start that one over.
Yeah.
So we'll start from you again, but the general one's just like where you're from and what you do. So kind of like just give us a quick rundown of where you're currently at, or like where you like generally you did good for that part, and then just what you do musically. So like what now that one you can kind of explain a little bit more. But yeah, so we'll go ahead and cut from you. So go ahead and be looking at the camera again and just hello in your name.
Okay. Hello, my name's MC Lobo, and I'm based out of Vancouver.
Oh, no, just hello in your name.
Okay.
But
hello.
You don't have to say hello. Like the way you did it before was perfect. Yeah.
Okay. Was good. Is the homie MC Lobo?
Try that one more time.
It's the homie MC Lobo.
The way you said it before was perfect. Just there wasn't enough of a pause, I think. So just what's good, everybody? It's MC Lobo.
Okay. What's good, everybody? It's MC Lobo.
Hello.
How's it going?
Hey, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Why don't you tell us a little bit about, where you're from, what you do, give us that like Tinder profile of your involvement with music.
All right. Well, I'm based out of Vancouver, and kind of just I don't like to say I'm a rapper.
Yeah.
But I like to think more of an artist.
Oh yeah. You've definitely got a few different sounds going on, but we'll get into that in a little bit. What got you into music initially?
The sounds, a lot. My family just like was very music orientated. Mm-hmm. I guess nobody really makes music, but just passionate for music.
Yeah, everybody appreciated it.
Yeah, so I just always got attracted to like. I started looking at videos and like just seeing like, I guess you would say the gimmicks and stuff, like the rappers and like, they dance. They used to do the dancing and stuff back then and all that stuff.
I mean, some of them still do it now.
Yeah, that used to intrigue me a lot. I used to dance myself. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just the whole scene itself, just kind of hip hop itself, kind of.
Oh yeah, I could dig that.
Grasped my attention.
And so you got into dancing first then?
Yeah, I was definitely dancing first. Like I said, it's more like of a hip hop thing that I'm gravitated to.
Yeah.
Anything hip hop, graffiti, like dancing. Like I've pretty much done it all.
Oh, totally. So, how did you get started with that? Like, did you find a group of people that were doing it? Like somebody that was like...
Yeah. We had a little dance group back in the day. And then I just kind of naturally have people like gravitate towards me, I guess. And like, we just started doing all that. It was fun. We'd be up and down on the max, just dancing everywhere and all that.
Oh, yeah. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, we did a few fundraiser shows here and there.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Definitely a cool way to get into music too. Like just like being able to understand that more from like an almost like rhythmic sense from just like moving around to like getting your timing down and figuring out those things.
Yeah.
I imagine that played a part once you got into it for sure.
It helped a lot. Yeah. Getting familiar with beats and like all that. Yeah, for sure.
Now for this next question, this is one we ask early. It's one we ask often, and it's definitely a crowd favorite. What was the first album you ever bought with your own money?
Oh shit. Okay, let me think. I want to say I didn't buy it, but it's the first one I owned. It was the 50 Cent, The Massacre.
Okay, hell yeah.
Because my buddy, he was a little older than me at the time, and I was like just kicking it with dude, and then he had the original version, and then the deluxe version came out, remember?
Okay, yeah.
And then he got that one, so he was like, hey, here, I'll give you
might as well.
I was like,
hell yeah, that's awesome. I mean, it's interesting how often 50 Cent has actually been the answer to that question.
It's right, yeah.
It really says something for sure.
Yeah.
And then what was the first live show you ever went to? That was like one you wanted to go to.
It's for a Spanish band. Their name was Cumbia Kings. And I think I wanted to go see them when I was like 8.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and they were definitely like part of like I said, I would watch their videos, and they used to dance a lot in their videos, and like everyone's like dressed like the same and like, in uniforms and type shit. Like so that kind of really like grasped my attention.
And did they do all the stuff you saw on that live?
Oh yeah.
And then some, I imagine.
Yeah. It was cool.
That's awesome. That's definitely a good first experience.
Yeah. And
then I guess what was the moment that you like decided you wanted to make music your main focus?
I wouldn't say it's my main focus though. I like I said, I'm very art orientated.
Fair.
So I'm just creating, man, at this point. But there was a point where I said I want to do music, and I want to say that was like high school. A bunch of my peers, we were doing like these rap battles in high school, and they would rap battle, and I was like, man, these guys are like busting out some bars that like I would hear like maybe Lil Wayne or somebody say,
yeah.
And I was like, if they could do it, man,
might as well give it a go.
Yeah,
I dig that.
Exactly.
Well, now let's go ahead and talk about you in the modern day. Then we'll get into more of what you're doing with music at the moment.
Okay.
First of all, how did you pick your name?
I've gone through like so many names at this point, but I was set on MC Lobo. I was going by Lone Wolf originally, and then I had this transition and like kind of like a realization, if you will, that like I had to represent a little bit harder for like my culture and like embrace it more than anything.
Yeah.
And then that's when I switched it to Spanish, to Lobo. And I just picked Wolf because, the knuckle tattoos was just random, It also random, but it has meaning behind it, I found meaning. Definitely relates to me a lot. Is Lone Wolf. And that's where it all began, originated from,
Hell yeah.
But it just evolved into, Spanish, because I started doing more Spanish music, all that stuff.
Yeah, I definitely noticed that when I was listening through your music earlier. You have a fair amount of your catalog that is entirely in Spanish.
Yeah, just recently. And like I said, I just kind of feel like I needed to embrace my culture a little bit more. And
hell yeah.
It's being really popular right now, I guess, in Mexico. So like I was like, man, I like how it sounds. I'm going to give it a go too.
I dig that. Well, we'll definitely dig into that a little bit more in a moment. But for right now, I want to focus on your writing process.
Okay.
And we're going to kind of break it up into pieces, but we're going to start right at the beginning.
Okay.
So when you get inspired, you're ready to make some music. What are some of the first things you do to get a track started?
I smoke some weed.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, got to. That's Mando. But I like to repeat the beat. And then, like you said, I used to dance, so I memorized the beat. Like I literally can skip to any part of the beat, and I know what part of my verse it's supposed to be. Like what word specifically I'm on.
Yeah.
So I memorized the beat to the T, and then I finally feel like I can. Sometimes I'll just go in, and if I really feel the beat, I'll just start writing. But for the most part, they're usually beats that I already have memorized.
Yeah, that's an interesting approach too. because then you almost don't need to have it like going back and forth.
I could play it in my head.
Yeah, you could just, you have your own soundtrack.
I could be at work or something, walking, showering, just whatever.
That, and I feel like by the time you get to the booth to even record, like the words have kind of almost like written themselves because they're so ingrained in the design of the track. That actually is a really interesting approach. Thank you for sharing that. And then once you get a track finished, so like you've written all of it, it doesn't have to be recorded and put out yet.
Okay.
But once you have a track finished being written, how long does it usually take you to get comfortable performing it?
Well, the whole time I'm writing, I'm looping this thing. So like I'm just like looping. So I loop the beat and then I'll start writing. I'll write a few bars and then I'll literally start from the beginning, make sure they flow.
Yeah.
And then I'll add another one and I'll start all over again. And by the time I'm finished with the verse,
you've already been practicing it the whole time. Yeah.
It's just a matter of getting my breath down.
Okay.
Sometimes I rap faster than I can process.
Yep.
So I have to practice my breathing during my, when I need to take a breath and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. That's a good thing to be focused on while you're writing it as well. It makes it way easier to perform in the long run.
I've told my peers a lot is that you got to make sure you could perform in that shit.
Yeah, exactly. Or at least for the most part. Like, I think, like, when you're putting out like 14 track albums, you can have a few on there that are like
a little snappy.
Yeah, just for the studio.
Sure. Yeah.
But like, for the most part, especially in any kind of like early stage of your music, you should always be able to perform anything you do. And even like some of the deep cuts, you should still be able to, because you never know when you're going to be like, this would be the best time. Or like the whole room is just suddenly demanding it. To be able to do it out of nowhere is always powerful.
Yeah, I definitely learned that my early days performing and stuff. I was like, shit. I was like, damn.
You're like halfway through and you're like, hold on, guys. Can we pause the track?
Take two.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna bring it up from here. No, but that's a really good thing to be conscious of during the writing process.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah. And then looking back on, let's say, the last year, how did your process change? Or like, have you just kind of like solidified it?
Yeah, that kind of made that my process, honestly. Took me a while to get it down, but that's what makes it easier for me, I guess. And just memorizing the beats. I think that's key.
Yeah.
I think that's very key. If you know your beat, then you know how you're supposed to flow on it.
No, totally. Like I said, I think that is a very, very valuable piece of insight that is worth noting.
Certain parts where the beat takes a pause, and then like you're still rapping, and it's like maybe you might add a little bridge in there.
Yeah, or even if you're gonna go over it, you need to know how long it's gonna happen for, and like be prepared to change yourself up slightly to draw attention to the fact that it dropped away. There's a lot of nuance that can come from that approach for sure, just by being locked in and not just being like, oh, I'm gonna freestyle over it first go.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Now let's talk about a little bit more of your music that's available at the moment. I went through a lot of what you had available on Spotify.
It's not much.
You've definitely got some work on there though. It's cool to see that you don't just put out singles.
Yeah.
I mean, even now you have your most recent album came out the January this year. So you're like putting out stuff like a fair amount just from what's available there.
Yeah, I'm trying to stay relevant more than anything,
Yeah.
I have a lot of stuff in my vault that's just unreleased, and I'm always piecing projects together.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nah, never mind. Maybe I'll save these for another project. But I have a lot of singles that I'm working on right now. I've just realized that the EPs and like the full projects is just more time consuming.
Yeah. And I think that
music is fast nowadays. I feel like
Well, it's being presented that way, but that's not the only way to do it. I think that's a narrative that's becoming something that's a little more prominent at the moment. So you have to put out stuff all the time. You have to be doing it, but you don't have to. Like,
no.
And bodies of work take longer to appreciate, but once they're like discovered and once they're landed on, like they become those works of art that speak forward afterwards. So like it's important to put out singles to just let people know that you're doing stuff.
Fill the gaps in between.
Yeah, but the bodies of work I think are not something that should go. This is just my opinion. You can run your music however you want, and there's not a wrong way. That's really the nice part but don't feel like you have to overwork yourself, or don't feel like you don't have to put out album, or you shouldn't, because that's not the move. I'm somebody who actively listens to albums. Every time an artist that I follow puts out a new album, I check out the whole thing.
Yeah,
because it's just like, but that's just how I listen to music. Like I said, there are plenty of people who just go the single route or only go like playlists that they put together. And, you know, there are artists who put out a song a week for like 6 months at a time. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm a firm believer in the album should exist.
Yeah.
Singles in between. I firmly believe that albums should be like even separate of the singles that come out sometimes. So you could put out like 4 singles in a 3-month period and like 1 or 2 of them could end up on like an 8-track album.
That's right.
And 2 of those singles could have just been for the summertime or could have been for this window. Yeah, like, you know, like T-Pain did a Halloween track. Like it's not going to end up on any album he does.
Right.
But he did one that came out around Halloween time and it was supposed to just be for that time because he could.
Right.
So, you know, like there's
themed songs and stuff.
Yeah. Or even just, you know, like I said, just stuff to kind of keep the ball rolling and like fit the time.
Right.
But the album can be a body of work. You can really like, you can speak through albums on bigger topics.
Definitely like making like EPs and stuff because then I realized how much of my songs are like in the same element, you know, almost. Because I like to hand pick my songs, you know, like I feel like a lot of people just write and then they're like, okay, I wrote 15 songs, like now I got like an EP.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what if they're not all like, you know,
same? Yeah, and
consistent with each other. You know, it's like different elements. You know, you can make a whole R&B EP and then make a whole like soul, you know, hip hop. You know, like if you separate it and take your time and just cook a little longer.
Yeah, and fill in the spaces based off of what those have or don't have.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really interesting approach as well. I appreciate that.
I've had like at some point I had like 200 songs and I literally just like made 6-7 different projects and I was like, okay, you know,
these go with these
and you go there. Yeah.
That even gives you opportunities for like different sets in different places sometimes too, and that's a good approach.
Yeah, then I go, you know, pick from there.
Oh yeah. And then just looking at your most recent album for just a quick moment, it's cool that you put out an album of work, and I'm really curious to know like what was your thought process through putting it together?
What was that one?
Fumigado.
Oh, the Fumigado.
Yeah.
Okay. My thought process behind that, the Spanish is more like a grimy rap.
Yeah.
You know, it's more like, you know, ghetto, I guess, if you will.
I mean, it
not ghetto, but it's like, you know,
it's got like a bite to it.
Yeah.
Like, I know, like, you know, the track that really stood out to me for that was Fuego. Like, and I mean, first of all, a really strong ending. Like, you know, I always appreciate when people leave a good song for the end and don't just pop out because like if anybody even gets here. But like it was really strong. Everybody that was on it just crushed it. You had some really strong features on there, and it had a really good sound to it that carried through for the whole album.
Right.
So it's nice to see that even by the end, like you didn't like lose steam at that point.
And the craziest part is that song, like we were all 4 on that song, like just randomly, like last minute. I remember it was just supposed to be me and LZ, the second guy on the verse, and then I took Tavo and Vega with me to be in the video.
Yeah.
And we had a studio session that day, and then they were there. So
might as well.
Half of the beat left, and we were like, "Oh, let's just all fucking cut it up." And
they were already in the video, so
and it happened that day. Yeah, the same day we recorded it, we filmed that video and everything. So, yeah,
I dig that for sure.
It was just random how it happened.
But looking past that album a little bit, I was going through more of your catalog on there, and I actually really liked Friends.
Yeah,
I thought that track was really cool. I mean, it was a really good beat. The mix was really good. Yeah. Like, you know, I saw that you had filmed it at DB Nations.
Yeah.
Shout out DB Nations. We actually just had a dude from there on a previous episode, Frano.
That song wasn't actually shot at DB Nations or recorded at DB Nations. We were at Sloth Studios.
Oh.
But I had a picture from DB Nations, and I used
that. DB Nations. Yeah, that's cool.
Both of them, but we did Fuego there.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And that's where we filmed the video.
You know? Well, then I picked the wrong song to shout them out on, but that's a cool correlation. I didn't even know. But like I just thought the flow was really tight, and like the cadence itself had a little bit of bite to it. There were these like moments where you really like stabbed on certain words, and it gave it this really cool characteristic.
Yeah, I love that song a lot. I feel like if I were to like categorize myself,
Mhm.
that
That's the sound you want to go
the
for?
sound I'm going for,
Yeah.
and that's the one I like to make, and like kind of like a dark Suicide Boys vibe, but not as like emo-y, you know?
Yeah, yeah, it was a little more like upfront about it. Like
Yeah,
it definitely had a good sound to it.
Feel like a darker sound to it, you know? Like
Hell yeah.
I like that.
Hell yeah. And then looking at your most recent music, so music you haven't put out, music you have put out, whatever you're performing more regularly, what would you say is your favorite song to perform at the moment?
Friends.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I had a feeling, but I still had to ask it.
It's been grasping a lot of good attention on YouTube, and like the message behind it itself, it's it's a good song.
Hell yeah.
I like that it's relevant. I try to make music to where people can relate to it, and it's like anybody could say, like, at any moment throughout this song, they could say, like, I felt that way before, or damn, I feel that,
it's definitely good to be relatable for sure. And I think that music is such it's so important to be able to connect with the music you listen to.
And I feel like a lot of people are just like kind of like isolating yourself or themselves, if you will, and I feel like it just kind of hit in a good moment to where like everyone's kind of like, damn, where's my friends at, or like, what are real friends even, like, because we all go through shit, and then like that's when you realize who's really there, like.
No, I can feel that for sure.
For sure.
Oh yeah. All right, now before we move into the next portion, we've got one last question to go, and this one's probably the densest question in the interview. But we've talked, about your experience with music, your actions, your reactions, your thought processes. But when it's just you and music one-on-one, what does it give back to you?
Music's always been therapeutic for me, man. When I'm writing, it's therapy for me. It's like my own diary, like I can vent, I can say, I could do anything I want on the track, and nobody's there to judge me or like to like say anything about it. I could vent, completely. But it's also memories, bro. Like, certain songs can captivate certain times and certain, moments in your life, I feel like I listen to a variety of music, and that's why, because, we all have ups and downs, and sometimes, sometimes you feel sad, you want to listen to some sad shit, sometimes.
There's so much different music out there. Like, why only listen to one type of music?
Yeah, exactly.
There's too much cool stuff to not.
Yeah, I know, but it's definitely an outlet for me, bro. It's been very good to me, and I love it. Big part of my life, since a kid, dancing. And even now, just making music. It's cool. Yeah, I love it.
Now, before we move into this next part, you said you do some of the other arts. Do you do any kind of like visual artwork at all?
Yeah, so a few of my videos, my more earlier videos, I guess, on my YouTube channel, I did myself. So I did all the editing on those. But I just did them on my phone, like on the app on there on my phone. So it's like I had to learn how to do all, like, quality and all when you export and all this stuff. So I had to learn all that as I went.
I get that. I'm learning that still as we go.
Sometimes you have a 4K video and you uploaded it, it's like fucking 720p.
Yeah, you're like, oops.
Like it's the wrong file or some shit.
Yeah. No, I get that for sure.
But yeah, I've done a little, I like to do visual effects and stuff. I do canvases. I paint canvases, and then doing like custom clothes for a little bit. Tattoos. I like to do tattoos, and then anything art related, man. I'm like just super intrigued, crafty with it.
I feel that for sure. That's a lot of fun.
Custom shoes for a minute, so.
No, I get that.
A little bit of everything, dude.
Yeah. I wanted to dig in that for a little bit. But now let's go ahead and let's move on to some hypothetical questions.
All right.
And for these ones, skies are the limits. The questions are all made up and the answers are allowed to be 2.
Okay.
And for the first one, if you could work with any one person who's currently alive, it's the only requirement, who would you want to work with and how would you want to work with them?
Probably Kasky.
Okay. Hell yeah.
Yeah,
That's a good choice.
Yeah, that's my favorite rapper right there, bro.
Hell yeah. I think that for sure.
Yeah, that man's writing is immaculate.
Yeah. No, that is a solid choice. Yeah. Would you want to like feature on a song, have them feature on a song? Just like how would you want to work with them?
Definitely a tape with him would be dope. I know that's reaching, but that would be dope.
Hell yeah.
But even just having him on track or, like opening up a show for him, that would be more than enough, Yeah. I've already seen him live, but...
Oh, perfect. So you're halfway there.
Yeah.
And then subsequently, who's a local artist that you're aware of that you haven't gotten to connect with yet, but you would like to?
Indo.
Okay.
Yeah. Indo Slim. Yeah.
Hell yeah, that's a solid choice for sure.
Yeah.
Well,
I like his style. He's got a very, I wouldn't say similar, but it's I feel like they would... sound good together. Both our styles.
No, I dig that. Everybody, you know what to do. At them in the comments. Let's
Tag.
And then for this next one, like I said before, sky's the limits, and that's pretty literal here. But if you could perform anywhere in the world, and you wouldn't have to worry about crowd access or building stability or power, anything like that.
Okay.
Guaranteed best lineup, guaranteed best show, and it doesn't have to be a venue. It could be anywhere.
Okay.
Where would you want to perform?
Rolling Loud, probably.
Okay. Hell yeah.
Yeah, probably Rolling Loud.
You want? I assume the headline spot.
Yeah, maybe, probably.
Hell yeah. And then to wrap up the hypothetical questions, if you could get one more album from anybody, they could be alive, they could be dead, they could have not put an album in 100 years, they could have put out an album yesterday. Who would you want an album from?
Big Sean.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Super slept on, dude.
Yo, what a good answer.
Yeah, Big Sean.
Holy shit. Yo.
Man.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
Yeah. I second that. That might be the funnest answer I've heard in a little bit.
Yeah, Big Sean.
Okay.
He was snapping,
I know. And then just gone.
Yeah.
Damn.
Where'd he go?
I don't know.
Not a fucking single anywhere.
No. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Everybody at Big Sean in the comments too. Let's make that happen.
For real, yeah. He's got to drop some heat, man, because
hell yeah.
His writing is just unique to me. I like how he over there, don't go there, but about there. He brought a whole different style. I like.
Yeah. No, like I said, that's a really solid answer.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to start wrapping this up. What can we look forward to for let's say, between now and August?
A lot of videos. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I got a lot of singles coming, and hopefully some shows. We got a show next weekend.
Mm-hmm. This may have come out before that, but just in case, what would be the show after that?
I don't have any lined up, but
okay.
We're trying to get more shows, merch for sure, because we did a merch drop last year, and it we sold out.
Yeah.
We did 3 drops, and all 3 sold out, dude. So we're trying to get more merch, videos, and then bro, just hopefully more collaborations.
Oh yeah. Well, definitely looking forward to that. And I got to hear some of your early music. Thank you for sending that this way. Definitely get ready for that, y'all. It's solid stuff.
I appreciate it.
Oh yeah. All right, now for this next one, go and look straight at the camera and tell everybody how they can find you.
All right. It's at LMC Lobo and all streaming platforms. ELMC Lobo, and it's that on everything.
And it'll all be on the screen and things like that.
Yeah.
And then any other plugs, any other shout outs, anybody else you want to put on while you're on here?
Okay, yeah. Shout out to the Loud Pack family. Shout out to the homie Vega. We just dropped a video today, and go check it out on my channel. You said it won't be up soon, but it'll be out by the time you watch this. And then the homie Danny Blessed, he's our producer. He be cooking some beats for us and stuff here and there. So shout out to them. Shout out to Tizo Temple, he's our video guy right now, and then Archie, he's mastering a couple tracks for us from OBX, so shout out to them, and we've been working and trying to stay consistent.
Oh yeah. All right, now we've got one last question to go.
Okay.
Before we do, I'm gonna steal the camera for just a second. Right. As always, y'all, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. And one more shout out to the Brothers Apothecary. Make sure to click the link below and go check them out. I guarantee you're going to like it. And with that being said, the final question. And this is entirely up to your interpretation.
Okay.
But what is an album you feel is more on the obscure side? So it's not one a lot of people know, and it could be a deep cut.
Okay.
But you think everybody should know it.
One of Caskey's albums, I can't remember which one it is. I want to say it's Black Sheep 4, or I can't remember, bro.
I mean, I'm gonna go on a limb and say Cassie's kind of slept on in general. Yeah, so any album would be a good album.
His catalog is fucking crazy.
That's a solid rec for sure, just in general.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Any of Caskey's shit, I feel like he's not well respected, as much as I feel like he should be.
Yeah, no, I think he could get a little more attention.
Trappy sound, almost mixed with like a little bit of like J. Cole bars, kind of like conscious rap.
He's very aware of what he's doing for sure.
Yeah, and I love that, and it's
Hell yeah.
not always like negative. It's like it always has a message. I love that.
Yeah. Hell yeah. All right, well, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you so much for joining us.
Right on. Thank you for having me, man. Again, thank you.
Yeah. And this has been another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jambox. I'm Jimmy.
I'm MC Lobo.
And we're signing off. Later, y'all.
That's a wrap.
This is not a podcast. This is a show.
Keep jamming.